So, The Walking Dead Season 5. I just finished the season as it aired on last Sunday night. This is a really good season, and I will get around to doing seasons 1 through 4. Don't rush me, I'm busy. So yeah, at the very end of Season 4, they're captured by the Terminus people. This confirmed the Terminus people are cannibals, they're evil. And, so, you know, on the very first episode, they bust out, they escape, Carol busts them out, it's awesome. You know, I think the governor thing was too long, but the Terminus thing was too short. It's wrapped up really quickly. So they meet Father Gabriel, who is an African-American preacher, and, he's got a secret, you know? However, his arc makes no sense whatsoever in this season, and so it is kind of pointless. So, you know, Eugene needs to get to Washington, D.C. for the cure. Josh McDermott is not that great of an actor, I mean, I'm gonna admit it, but he does go through a really good character arc this season, especially in the second half. They actually do get to Washington, D.C. and find Alexandria, a safe haven community surrounded by gigantic steel walls. The people there are incredibly innocent, they're untrustworthy, they're cowardly, they're not really, I don't know, the group kind of has to shape them up. So Beth ends up being trapped inside of a hospital in Atlanta, and it's really cool. You know, she starts to have even a good story arc, and there's a rescue scene, and that scene is really good. I like that. That episode was good. So outside of Alexandria, there's the wolves, and apparently there's only 2 of them, but I mean, I think there's more. They're gonna be, I guess they're gonna be the antagonists next season. What they are, they just kind of randomly rob people and, you know, prey upon them. Basically scavengers. It hasn't really explained why they have a W carved into their head. I don't know. Yeah. So as for the characters, Rick Grimes still is, you know, he is convinced every other human being out there is bad. You know, he is so overly suspicious of everyone they meet. Daryl, once again, he shows his softer side, but, you know, he's still kind of refusing to acknowledge he has a softer side, and we're like, man, everyone there knows you have a softer side. Give it up. Be a softie. It's good. Upset by their losses in the season, you can tell, he's a lot more open-minded about it than Rick is, than about Alexandria. So Glenn actually has more chemistry with Maggie, and he learns to forgive in this season, but you get to see a violent part of Glenn that you really haven't seen before, especially in the last episode where he's just beating the dude over and over again. Yeah. So Maggie, actually, we get to see her clinging on for hope. She gives up her religion. She's just, all of the group is this way, but her the most. She's just been pushed to her limit. She is just about ready to give up. Carl still won't have any mercy. He still will not tolerate anybody out there who does not see the world like it is. We see him, though, getting a chance to be young with the girl Enid. Yeah. So, you know, Michonne is, you know, she tries to convince the group that there is a better place out there. Tries to believe there is one, and she kind of becomes the heart and soul of this group in a way. You know, you think, like, without her, the group would kind of fall apart. Carol is becoming less evil, but she's more killing in a way. We get to see how she was before the apocalypse. When they get to Alexandria, she sits there and she's like, yeah, I'm a real people person. I can cook, I can do all this. And so they kind of address her as the mother hen, but they don't get to see the real Carol. So Abraham, we get to see how devoted he is to Eugene. We see him, what's really cool is that scene where he saves the construction worker, and, you know, all the Alexandria people are cowardly, and so they get attacked by walkers, and there's this woman who's stranded, and she's trying to fight them off, but she's got a broken leg, and all the other people are backing away, like, let's get to the cars and go, leave her, and he goes up there and he's just killing all the walkers left and right, and saves her, and that's really cool. So Beth actually learns to do the dirty work. She shows her strength in this season, especially in the scene where she has to kill the cop. She goes through all that, and all the cops think, oh, she's just a little girl, she's weak, and then she proves that she's not, which is cool. And then Tyrese is the final character, and he learns it's not over. He chooses to go on and not give up, even though in this world it is easier to give up. And that's something that's addressed a lot more in this season than it really was in the previous ones. And it does. So yeah, skip right here to skip the spoilers. So I think the governor thing was too long, but and the Terminus thing was too short, but it really was cool when they're about to get killed, and he's like, Rick's bowing down and he says, "There's a machete with a red handle in the bag. That's what I'm gonna use to kill you." And then at the very end of the season, he's just not the end of the season, but in like the third episode, Gareth's bowing before him, like irony. This is irony, and he just takes out the red handle machete and that was awesome. So, and I do feel like Bob was underused, though. We didn't really get to know him that well in his arc. I mean, his story arc was complete, but it just wasn't... Nah. I wasn't really surprised when they found out that Eugene lied. I know that he had lied in the comics, but at that time, I was under the impression that they were going to end it after Season 5, because I had read an article that said they were, but I guess they're not. And so, I thought, oh, maybe they're just going to have Eugene not lie, and they're going to have him, go out and find a cure, and that might, wrap up the series, but no. So, Best Death was probably one of the saddest in the series, probably just because I didn't see it coming. With all the other ones, I knew it was coming, or at least coming soon. This one I did not, which was, cool, but she needed to finish her story arc. It wasn't quite complete. I guess when you look at it from away, it was complete, but it had been built up to make it not complete. Yeah. So Tyrese's death was also sad. I really like his story arc, though, was kind of crammed. It really began when he admits to Sasha how he doesn't like himself anymore because he let the dude go, and because of that Bob died. And he sees the hallucinations of the governor and Bob and Mika and Lizzie and Beth, and he's one of the greatest scenes in the entire series when he stands up, his arm is gone. He's just like telling the hallucinations of the governor, "It's not over." Yeah. So Father Gabriel really shouldn't be trusted. I don't get how he abandons faith. Like, okay, I get it. I get how easy it would be to abandon faith. This world's falling apart. There's no hope left. And yet, for some reason, he goes crazy, tries to kill people, lets everyone die, runs away from his only safe haven group. I'm just like, what type of logic is this? I do like the finale when, the guy's laying on the ground, the guy's just killed a person, and the president of Alexandria is just like, she's crying, she's like, "Rick," and Rick's looking at her, and she's just like, "Do it," and he just puts a bullet in the dude's head. Yeah, that was cool. So, something that I haven't really been doing the last few reviews, but I want to do is, what is the best scene in this season? And one of the best scenes is when Tyrese dies, but he says, "It's not over." Mika and Lizzie and Beth and Bob were kind of luring him toward heaven. You can tell, and the governor and the Terminus guy were luring him, toward hell. It's like, the governor was like, "Give up, it'll be over," and then the Beth was like, "No, keep fighting. You can make it out of this." But he doesn't do either. He does die, but he doesn't give up. He's like, "It's not over. I forgive Dom for killing Beth because it's not over." Yeah. And another really good scene is the revolving door scene, where there was a revolving door like a cross. The worst thing I've ever used, but okay. So imagine a revolving door like this, and here, so what's stuck here is Glenn, and what's stuck here is another dude, and then there's walkers on this side and walkers on this side, and there's a circle, so they can turn and go away, but not without letting walkers in. And I think whoever wrote that scene should really get a good award, because it's a really good example of that no-win situation. That was really well done. So all in all, this is a great TV season. This is the best one yet, in my opinion. I would say this is worth watching at the premiere. This show is going places, and I will not be surprised if it is referred to as one of the greatest TV series of all time. The only thing missing is Joss Whedon, but he couldn't do a series that particularly great. But yeah, so be sure to subscribe. Bye.